What's happening, guys? Full Push Metals back in the house. Today's episode is going to be a little different. Not much silver stacking. There is silver to stack, but we got to work for it first. Just like the rest of the things you see here beside you, it takes some effort, it takes some tools, it takes some time, it takes some patience, it takes some know-how to get this material ready to work up, ready to ship out, sell out, and stack up some nice bread. This is what I've made so far this week from just scrapping. Nice little stack of cash. We're going to separate these a little later on and hunt them, see if we can find something cool. But for right now, I just want to show you guys some of the tools, some of the tricks of the trade that I have learned over my many years of doing this to fully knock out some scrap and turn it into some hardcore silver, some really sweet stuff that we love. This is a trash to cash episode. Let's roll. First up, you will need some tools. Not really specific tools, but these tools will help you get everything you need to get off of everything you have to get. First up, a hammer for smacking stuff. Bigger is better. A pair of linesmans for holding, grabbing, twisting. Channel locks for undoing some bolts you don't want to mess with. Nice cutters. That's a quick, easy way of this. This is the main tool right here. You're going to need them more than anything. The longer the grip, the deeper you can get back in there. Get that nice little piece out. I prefer a 12-in-1 screwdriver. That way you don't have to worry about looking for something. You ain't got to search for everything. This has got every different type of nut driver. You just keep unpulling them and sticking them back in. You get all your nuts and bolts knocked out. Screwdriver for prying. This is just like a little extra tool. And the strippers just is quick cutters instead of these. Also, a very comfortable stripping utensil. This is not the most comfortable one I own, but this is the one I've been using this past couple weeks. And first off, a brand new blade is your friend. It is also your enemy. Whenever I get a brand new blade and put it in, depending upon if you're left-handed or right-handed, you always strip away from yourself. Safety first. Got to have safety first. There's some more of that coming up, believe me. Because stripping, wire, and that kind of things is actually pretty dangerous. When you're inside of a closed environment, like right now I'm in the back of this is my mudroom or my pantry eventually. Right now it's unfinished, as you can see. My house is still under construction, and this is my food pantry. But right now it's my scrapping area. But when you first get a new blade, you want to, depending upon if you strip this way or if you strip from the left, depending on what hand you are, you want to curl the blade so it does not dig into your material. So when I get a new blade, I take it against something hard, preferably like these metal motors or anything of that nature. And you want to just basically score that blade so it's not straight. You just take it, and I strip to the left, so I want to take this and smash down the blade so it's got a little bit of a curl up to it. Because that little curl up will save you a ton of time. And it'll take all the aggravation out of stripping a lot of that copper. Nice another bucket ready to roll. But let's do some breakdowns as far as what copper is easiest to strip, makes you the most amount of money, and what is really not worth dealing with. This you see in this bucket, this is what I consider not worth dealing with. A lot of this stuff is just the wire harness, Cat 5 wire. There's all different pay grades. If you mix all this stuff together, you got drop cords from anything you might cut off or find, that kind of stuff. This is mostly angel hair, and once you start to strip that, what we got here is just a little assortment of some different things. This is the small stuff that I will not mess with. It's got the really small, I call it angel. This angel hair. You go to strip this, and you'll be there forever. You will think scrapping copper is not for you. So this is not what we want to do with. This goes straight to that bin. Unnecessary. We don't need to mess with it. 60 cents a pound. We're going to take it as is. You get so much of that stuff, if you try to strip it, you'd be here forever. But there are different kinds. This is so you got the solid wire. This is number 10, 30 amp wire, water heater, dryer wire. This would be a bigger piece of your service wire, of course. These are all number 1 grade. Number 1 grade basically varies from scrapyard to scrapyard. This is the solid proof, which would be in the big bucket over there. Right on. This is a THHN. It's the stranded solid. It's the same thing as the angel hair, but it's in a bigger category of the actual pieces are a little bit bigger. This is actually worthwhile to strip. You can strip it. Some scrap yards consider this a number 2 grade. If you mix it in with your number one and you don't have a huge amount of it in your number one, you can get away with it. So that's where we put it. I mix mine up so I don't ever have a number two pile of this, because I do. Number two grade is less money. We want top dollar for our stuff. If we got this stuff home, we're working it and we're stripping it, we want top dollar. That's all we want, period. A magnet. Gotta have a magnet, guys. I don't care what it is, how, neodymium magnet's great, but any magnet will work. This is just the one I had back here in the back. It's clipped onto the side of my workstation, so it works great for me. Let's see here. We have some unclean motors. These are off of pumps, bilge pumps for sump pumps. These are actually the brass attachments to that. And I'll give you a little demo as far as what different types of brass there are. But for as far as a motor, a clean motor is just the housing with a shank or shaft out. This is your top dollar as far as a sealed unit motor. You get compressors and things of that nature that are in AC units. Those are also sealed units, but they're less money because they're not fully exposed. This is an exposed motor. It's clean. It's ready to go. This one behind it, this is a dirty motor. It's got this old fan motor, heater motor, so it's got a bunch of other crap on it. We're just going to let that go as is. Some things are not worth your time. Trust me. This is a motor. This is actually unclean as well. It has the plastic and stuff on it, but as small as it is, it doesn't really matter. This also is a good spot. Vacuum motor, pretty sick. But this is a good spot to show you that everywhere you look, you will find silver. These little buttons in here, these are the little breakers, the little contacts that trip up when the power is needed and the actuator plunges, calls for, give me juice, I need water. So we have some silver contacts right in here, guys, and I've actually been pulling out some stuff. This is the new part of my scrapping venture. For years, I've always thrown this away or shit-canned it as far as your motherboards in the back. I've always just sold them as low-grade boards, 10 cents a pound. No more of that happens for me. There is, let's see here. Microwaves are awesome. Switches, everywhere there is a switch, including your wall switches. These are some old school ones. You get silver, and this is actually the insides of a switch. So you can see that little button right there. That is a little copper button. There is one on the opposing and one on the receiving. Right in the middle of that. Right on the end. So when you flip the switch, both those pieces of silver make contact, and you get your juice out of them. I've got a bunch of these to break open. So as soon as I get back, I'm going to the scrap yard here in a few minutes. I'm going to make another video of how to get all this stuff out of that. This is a microwave front. These are inner relays. This little black box has got silver in it. This one's got silver. That's got silver. That one. There's a ton. I mean, there seriously is a ton of silver and stuff that you would just necessarily overthrow and walk over and not give two craps about. There's so much of it that I'm learning, basically. Everything that has a switch, new or old. This is an old light receptacle. It's got it in there. We're going to find out later how much. This is the back of a dryer I just tore apart. We have two more casted relays in here. And I think there's one more. Right, here we go. Bam, bam. Those as well carry silver. There's also palladium and some other things in that nature that we will go across on some other videos. I still have to get all that kind of stuff set up so I can fully understand what's going on and to know how much of a yield I can get out of some of this stuff. But for the most part, this is a secondary precious metals that I would normally crap out. This would be something I would sell for nothing. All this came out of the same microwave as this did. And these have silver on them as well. These little relays, little clickers, there is silver in each one of them. There's two contacts in each one of those. And that would be something I would throw right in that harness bin and not give two craps about. Not anymore, guys. Those things now get redeposited and saved up, and we're going to do some other videos as far as that kind of stuff goes. These are the bus bars out of some breakers. This would be considered number 2 plated steel. The reason for that, years ago, I would be hating this stuff, man. It'd kill me because it wouldn't be my number 1 copper. I'd be like getting number 2 out of it, so it would kill me. I'd hate it. Now I love it. I wish I had all the stuff before that I've always scrapped because I would have a crap load. So we're going to get some acid going on later on, maybe in the summer. For now, I'm just going to stockpile this stuff so I got a big inventory of it. And then those videos will be going on later on. I don't know what I can get out of this. It's an old Chevy radio. We're going to find out. There's got to be something in here. I don't see a board. There's got to be something in here as far as some more contacts of that nature. We have cast aluminum. Your cast aluminum is basically the same thing as a body of a Hot Wheel. A Hot Wheel, anything aluminum that is casted is basically a hot dip mold. It is some pretty heavy stuff. You get a lot of it, at least I do. I mean, there's tons of pieces, tons of stuff. Of course, you know what's in that right there, the pretties. We have, let's see here, brass. Make all this sellable, you need to clean it, of course, but you don't need to go into much deep depth. You have copper pipe. Any copper pipe that does not have solder on it. So this little joint here, you would cut here, cut here. This little piece of the elbow will be considered number 2. It's dirty. The clean pipe without any solder on it is your number 1. Same thing in that bucket. This is number 1, straight up. This is clean. This has nothing on it. There's no solder on it. There's no paint. Nothing. So it's good to go. That's clean number 1. We have this is number 2 bucket. I'm not going to say everything today is number 2 because it's not enough. You guys know that it takes 16 ounces to make a pound. If you got a bucket that's 14 ounces over, you got another bucket that's 14 ounces over, you're pretty much losing a pound. You don't want to lose a pound when it comes down to it. So if you don't have enough material to work up to make big amounts, so you know that little 14 ounce is going to kill you in the long run, and you want to take everything and combine it to 1 bucket. I have number 1 and number 2 pipe in there, as well as these are some breakers and stuff that I've destroyed and got the silver contacts off of. I've kept some of these out because some of these still have the silver plating on them. I got some in the back here. But these are just ones I'm going to crap out. Number 2, knock them out. Still got to clean this up. I'll do that here in a minute so we get this video showed over rolling. You have stainless steel. Stainless steel, these are off of a police car, off the light bulb top. I have anything that's stainless steel. Looks like it's basically regular. It does not stick to a magnet. And you have the highest grade of stainless steel you have. You can have lower grade steel, lower grade stainless. And some forks, spoons, some of those things will stick and will give you a little bit of a magnet tension. Just give me a little bit. But I have a sink outside. I'm going to throw all these pieces in, so they should pretty much give me a dead weight on those. Hang on a second, guys. My cord's getting caught up. Right on. Of course, y'all know cans. Cans pay out. Takes a crap load of them, but they do weigh out. You have irony breakage, which would be this. This is your dirty. This is stuff I don't feel like messing with. The amount per pound doesn't ratify my time to deal with it. So that's just 18 cents a pound versus the 50 cents a pound clean. But as much metal as you can leave on that, the better you are. The heavier it is, the more it pays out. So, aluminum wire. This stuff, guys, I'm trying to tell you right now, it is not worth your time stripping. Believe me. These are big pieces. This is service wire. there's quite a bit of aluminum in here. But for the most part, by pound, this stuff does not weigh. This is a piece that is stripped. If I can get the cord, I'm about to fall over. All right, you see I'm holding this now. This is a pretty big piece, and it's not that heavy. So if you were to strip, if this was copper, there's no way in heck I could be holding this by this little bitty piece right now. I mean, that's a pretty big piece, but it's light. So if you were to strip all that out and take the time to do all that, you're just wasting your time and you're killing yourself for like $2 more. That's like $1.50 worth of aluminum right there. It's not a whole lot of return. But if you strip it, it's like $3. So you're not, I mean, to strip all that out, man, it's not worth it, believe me, guys. Very much so not worth it. There's also #1 copper that is not worth it as well. When it comes down to your Romex, your #2s and that kind of stuff, this is old school wire. Paper cloth. It is extremely dirty. Look, I barely touched that. You can already see my fingers right here. Watch this shit. When I grab it, I mean, it's just, it is very, very nasty to strip. I usually work this. I usually strip it. Today, we're not going to do that. We're not going to bother with it. This is all I have. And I mean, it completely gets your body and everything around you dirty because you have to touch every piece of that in order to break it loose. So this is like 90 cents a pound. And it's got some pretty good weight. We're going to lose maybe $3 here. I'm not sweating that $3 because in order to get that dirt off of me, it cost me about $1.50 worth of water and soap. So we're not going to go that route. Anyhow, the red brass, I know I didn't get back to that, but the red brass pays more. The red brass is actually mixed with copper. It's a higher mix of copper into the brass mix. But, let's see here. BX cables, that's what this kind of stuff is. This is your like random, everything else aluminum. Clean aluminum pays more than the painted. So I got clean sheet in there as well as the BX cable. All that is the same amount of weight category to same aluminum strength category. The painted stuff, they're going to knock that off. It's like 5 cents different on the pound, but you got to keep stuff separated, guys. You keep it separated, you don't have 5 or 6 people behind you in the scrapyard like wanting to know when the hell their turn's going to come about, because it would absolutely drive people nuts. One thing to remember, I'm in the back here. This is the back of my house, unfinished, of course. As you strip out and as you do a lot of this stuff, you will create a lot of waste. And that waste can add up to quite a bit. It can add up to quite a bit. This pile is actually, I've been stepping on this for the past 2 weekends. But it's still about a foot tall. And that's a whole lot of scrapping right there. There's a whole lot of wire I've been stripping. But for the most part, guys, that will clean up pretty easy. It makes like one big bowl of spaghetti. If I had a big fork, I could stick it in the middle and twist it, and it'd all pick up at one time and go into one huge trash bag. But same thing. Twist it on the sides, and it all picks up pretty nice. If you try to keep every little piece of this picked up as you strip, you will be here forever. And you will never make headway as far as getting that bucket done. But this is only one side of the tutorial. This is a rough tutorial. I'm just trying to hurry up and get this stuff over with. I just got back. I got a lot of stuff to do on my plate today. But for the most part, always remember that if you don't have enough ounces, if you got a scale, great, use it. I still haven't found my scale yet, guys. I kind of thought it would be underneath this big, huge pile of stuff over here. But it's not nowhere in this room. So, you know, whatever, I guess. I'll find it eventually. But for the most part, guys, if you don't know what you're doing, hit me up in the chat. I will be happy to let you know. And there'll be a more in-depth tutorials as I go on about this. It's just like a rough, quick estimate, just to let you know. Don't throw away no switches of any kind. Microwaves you see on the side of the road, bust out the front of them, grab the board out, grab that little harness out, and you got pretty much all you need. Cut the cord off as well. Don't ever leave a cord laying. Leaving a cord laying is just not cool. It's dead weight. This is your front of your microwave. It's the front of that one as well. Tear it off. That's trash. Underneath of it, nice little Mylar. 999 fine. Silver, baby. That's what we talking about. Well, hey, little piece of brass here. Ding. That sounds like money in my book. All right, guys. I got to get out of here. I got to get this crap over with. But in a few minutes, when I get back, I'm going to try to bust some of these open so I can show you some contacts. And I've got about 20 breakers I'm going to bust down as well. And so see how many contacts we can get off and add those to the ounces of contacts I've already got saved up. Anyhow, guys, keep pushing, keep stacking, keep scrapping. Holla at you.